Now we'll go to our extended line. This time we'll draw one from here to here to show our trend line per se. Same kind of thing. Show labels. It's going to show the labels at my end point. Now, there's going to be times that where you draw this, your labels are going to end up on your bars. And there's really no way of getting around that. Yeah, I could put my labels here at my start point. But then if I put my start point here and then I come this way, it could end up being there. You know, sooner or later, I just had to pick a side to put them on. Where they are is where they are. If you need to see them, grab your line, come up, there they are. Bring it on back, attach it back to, just remember that we're looking from our start point to our end point. We're going to show labels, extend lines, extend midpoint, 50%, 100%. Same type of thing, showing ranges. Let's just say that I wanted to put this on the top end of things, and let's put it here instead. Or let's say I wanted to draw it from there to there. Or however, same kind of thing. We extend the lines off our beginning points. We show a midpoint. We star extensions. Or forecast, rather. For a horizontal line, there's not a lot you can do. We show labels. Now, the same kind of thing in the horizontal line. I actually left the auto hide, and you can middle click that and it will actually hide the object. There's nothing else other than the labels. At one point, I had I thought about putting an alert type on the horizontal line and maybe even on some of the others. I've decided against that. Mainly due to resources. This is not a resource intense type indicator. It doesn't take a lot of resources, shouldn't take any more time to load your chart with this as no indicator at all. Now, that will be dependent on how many draw objects. If you have 100 draw objects on your chart, granted, this is going to take a little more time than no indicator at all. But let's take a look at this, okay? I have a data series. I have a 5-minute data series on crude. I'm loading 100 days back, okay? I'm going to reload NinjaScript. I am back that quick. Okay, so it did not take any time at all to go back and reload the whole chart in the whole 100 days. By putting alerts in, I have to start using the on-bar update. I have to start monitoring the close on a tick-by-tick basis. I'm just not going to do it. There's only one plot being done with this indicator right now, and I'm considering removing them. But I like the feature. I personally like the feature from time to time, and it saves me from adding another indicator to my chart and doing this and doing that. So, and I'll get to that feature here in a minute. We're kind of rambling on. Okay, this will be a good time. I have a couple things on my chart now. I have a line, I have a ray, I don't know, and I have a horizontal line. If I come back over to the left, the very first icon is a red eye. If I middle click that, every object on my chart gets hidden. If I middle click that again, they're all back. This is a quick, easy way to take a chart that is completely cluttered with information and make it clean. Now, the reason why I do this is I will spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour over the weekends, maybe a couple hours analyzing all kinds of charts, getting my trends together, looking at ranges. And if I spend a lot of time looking at different instruments, maybe you do fibs, maybe whatever it is that you're doing to analyze your charts, to define the support and resistance or the areas of interest that you want to look at, the last thing you want to do is have to delete them. The problem that NinjaTrader has currently is from a draw object standpoint, you either delete them or you leave them. I give you the option to hide them. In all essence, this particular object of hiding my particular objects was the reason why this became in development in the first place. And the enhancements were all on top of that. I have to have the ability to hide and show. I have to have the ability to have a clean chart. All of my indicators are built that way. Every single one of them, from VWAP to my price times to pivots to any indicator that I use on my charts, I have to be able to click on the icon and have a blank chart and a fresh perspective. Sometimes, depending on lines you draw or indicators you plot, you start developing a bias based off of the line that you happen to be seeing. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. What's good is to be able to hide that, to take a look at just the candlesticks, to take a look at just price action with an unbiased line indicator type opinion. What's going on? Okay, now if you've confirmed the same things that you were being told by the lines that you were watching, great. If not, my charts get so cluttered, I just have to be able, I have to personally be able to hide everything that I'm looking at. Okay, so we are going to, let's do a couple more things. If I middle click this, I hide everything. If I middle click this again, I show everything. So this is a quick, easy one button to hide and show everything on your chart. Let's just say that I'm hiding this one and I'm hiding this one, and I also have a rectangle on my chart and I'm hiding that one. Now we can see that I'm hiding three particular objects. I'm showing the line, and I want, the minute that I press this, it's going to hide the object. It's going to hide the line because the line was still on my chart. If I middle click this again, the line is going to appear, but everything that I have individually hidden is going to remain hidden. Now, sometimes I'll have 4 and 5 objects up here hidden. A quick, easy way to reset everything you have hidden, whether or not the red eye is hidden or not, is there is a green eye right here. If we middle click that green eye, it will reset all of our individual icons and the red icon back to show everything that we have drawn on our chart. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of, let's just, for purposes of training purposes, let's just hide those things. Okay, so we got up to our horizontal line. Again, there's not a lot you can do with a horizontal line or a vertical line. Okay, for the vertical lines, we do label the vertical line for a date and time. So, for instance, from a crude standpoint, if I wanted to put a vertical line on my chart here, and let's just say that we've unscrunched that chart and I was in this area right here, and I wanted to designate the start or the opening bar of crude, I could do that. Same type of thing from a hide. When we hide it, it's all gone. I can actually do that, meaning I've hidden the line and left the label. I don't know that I ever do that, but you could. Okay, let's just get rid of, let's first of all reset everything. Let's get rid of all of the draw objects we have on our chart. Let's come back to here. Let's crunch this up to the beginning. And let's take the same, let's just take the same area. We'll go from here to the top. We did this with our line, and I just want to do the same area to show you the same type to give you a feel of doing the same type of thing. We went from what we've defined as our midpoint. I mean, that's kind of why we're starting off at why I'm going from here to here. It happens to be on our point. It looks like it's the midpoint of our chart. We'll get rid of that. The arrow line does a little more. I can show labels. Now, in the labels, I can show price. I can show a price offset. I can show an angle. I can show an end time, and I can show a range. Now, the reason why you're seeing a lot of this will become more apparent as we go through what this indicator has available to it. So we're going to extend our lines. Same kind of thing. We draw from the beginning to the end. We extend our lines. We have our label shown like every object. We have our tick offset shown like every object. In this particular case, we're labeling the date and the time of our endpoint. I drag this off to the side. You can also see the price at the bottom, the degree. I believe there is also a price offset that can go in here as well. So I need to probably come back in and fix this. This is actually the price offset of the end point, not the begin point. Maybe sometime, you know what, I don't even look at this over here and didn't realize that I had done that. I guess I'll need to look at this and put a price offset of this line down here and maybe a price offset. You know what, I'm probably going to just take the price offsets out of this area, move my degree up, change that degree to be off, because honestly I don't even look at the angles or the degrees anymore. And if I were to look at this, I would look at it more on the lines of this. So let's draw this back up to here. We definitely can do the same thing as everything else. We can show our midpoint, show our 100, show our 50% extensions, and the same type of thing. Okay, this might be a good time to show you this as well. On the far left side next to our red icon is a style color palette. You can see a little painting palette. If we middle click that gives us a style color picker bar. Now, the very far left icon is turn coloring on. It's actually not just turn coloring, but turning style and coloring on and off. This bar has an on-off button. I have to middle click. I've standardized everything on middle click now. Middle click to turn this on and off. So I've got a little plus sign that says it's on, off. If I turn this on, just really what I wanted to do is show you. I'll come back and talk to this in more detail. What I really wanted to do was show you that are my extended lines, my rectangles, everything is associated with the color of the object. So no matter what you're drawing, if I change the color, so now if I come down and draw one this color, or if I come down and draw one this color, the color of your lines, your extensions, all of the features that are associated, and it doesn't matter whether this is the arrow line or any object at all, is associated to the color of the object that you're using. Okay, I'll hide this for a second. I'll double click on this. That is found in the properties of that particular arrow. So let's say I wanted the width to be 1 and I wanted to change that to sea green. It would automatically change the width of the lines that I'm using as well as the color. I just thought I would mention that associated to all of the objects themselves. Now let's keep going with this. Now we're going to come down and we can do the same thing from the rectangle side of things that we did with the line. We can come down and we can show our midpoint. We can show our vertical midpoint. We can fill it. And we can extend it. I now have 3. We haven't gotten to the rectangle yet, but I now have 3 different ways of actually drawing a rectangle, filling it, and or extending that fill. So now you can set one up one way and one up another way, and now you're not limited in the way that this was used before. What I've also incorporated into this is I'm going to turn that off, and we are going to draw an angular ellipse. I had a customer, whoops, I guess I have my color palette on still. I need to turn that off. What color did I have this before? Oh, gotta turn it back on. Yeah, turn it back off. Hide it. I had a customer ask me if you'll look at NinjaTrader's ellipse, if we were to go from here to here, oh, I can't get that. No matter what you do from an ellipse standpoint, it is never going to be angular based on the slope that So now we can draw an angular or an angled ellipse. I had a customer ask me this. He's a geometric plater, and he has a methodology based on angular ellipses versus just a regular ellipse, and he'll copy and paste these. He'll take a look at that slope in that range, come down. You could come down and paste it in this area and probably get the same type of thing, to where it's bouncing here, it's coming up, not quite off the midpoint, and you're looking at the same type of slope here as you were looking at the same type of slope here. Now, he just asked for that. At the same time, I added the rectangle in for him, and he was very happy about that whole situation. So I have a feeling that many of you won't use that particular ellipse type, but I do have a feeling that many of you will use that rectangular that rectangle in the fill region, just like I added it for the line. Okay, let's see, was there anything else? And then the same type of thing involves here. If we go to hide it, we can show everything that's not selected, or we can hide everything that's associated to it. We're going to go ahead and reset everything. We're going to remove our draw objects. I have not done anything with Fibonacci's, with any of the Fibonacci's, retracements, extensions. I've had many requests to be able to adjust the Fibonacci template being used through my drop-down. At the moment, I still haven't figured out a way of doing that. NinjaTrader doesn't give me access to the template area of the Fibonacci's. Now, I'm still continuing to try to find a way around that, but at the moment, I'm not able to include that feature. I was hoping to. Okay, pitchforks. Let's see. Oh my, on this particular chart, I'm not seeing a good area to draw one. Okay, here's a good time to maybe go backwards. We showed you the second icon in the color palette. Let me show you a couple other things for it. So if we turn it on, and we're going to draw a line, and we're going to draw a line from our original location. Okay, so, and the reason why is I still have these particular picked. We'll even throw the rectangle on there. Okay, I can turn around and delete that. I can choose a color red. I can choose this is a line width. So let's say 4. This is our style. So dash, dash, dot, dash, dot, dot, dot. Let's do dash, dot, dot, 4 with a color of red. I pick my line. I draw my line from there to there. So the color palette is also a style palette. It allows you to choose the width of the line, the style of the line, the color, and not just the line, but any draw object that I would select. If I selected to draw, or if I want to change the color, change it to 1, make it just dash, make it orange, and draw a ray. You can't really see that, so let's change that to a different color that maybe you can. Or maybe that's not big enough and we want it that way. Or let's just say that we want it solid. Now my extensions are usually always dots. I just, and that's hard-coded that way. But the color style palette will draw the object itself however you configure it up here. If you turn it off and redraw the same thing again, whatever your default color and style is, by setting it up through your properties, meaning I set this up, set it for yellow, set it for this, set default, whatever my default is what will be drawn at. If I activate the color palette, I can use whatever it is, whatever settings that I choose here to redraw that object. Let's undo that. Let's get rid of all of these. Now the reason why I was showing you that is I'm going to turn that off. We're going to hide that. The next icon is a time or an interval bar, let's say. So I've created an interval bar from 1 through 5, 10, 15, day, week. I've done this for myself so that I can quickly change between the interval, the data series of the chart. I've been asked on several occasions, hey, can I throw some specialty type charts up? Can I put a 233 tick chart or a 1000 volume? Or I might look at adding that in the future to allow you to choose and add some extra things to this. Right now, this is static. It is what it is, and that is all that it is. The reason I haven't done it so far is I don't want to deal with the technical support behind people not typing in the right information in a long string. I could allow you to type 233T, 1000V, but if you don't have the V in there, or you don't have the T, or you have, a capital, or you miss the comma, or I just don't want to deal with the technical support behind it. It's not, this wasn't really designed for that. Now, on the other hand, I probably will add that feature in the future. The problem that's going to happen is you're not going to be able to add customized proprietary type bars. For instance, the uni-Renko, the hybrid Renko, 3 line breaks, things of that type that are using custom intervals. Bar types can be customized, and they can use a custom 1 through 10 or a final 1 through 4, or I don't know what custom type your bar is using to be able to let you program that in here to use, if that makes any sense. I'm going to skip that. The reason why I was showing you this was this is an option of the drawbar now. I middle clicked this, I showed the toolbar, and I'm just going to go to a different time period and see if I can't find a pitchfork to use. So we're going to take this lowest low up to this highest high, down to this lowest low. I must have something set here. And we're going to draw a pitchfork. Now, it's not the greatest pitchfork. Doesn't look like I would probably use this, but it's good enough to show. We go from A to B to C, and it draws our pitchfork, right? I allow you to show and extend labels. What we've done is we've extended lines off of our A, our B, our C, and our midpoint. We extend those lines with the same color. And we give you price and a tick offset. We also show ABCDs. So A, B, C. If we took our A to B extension and applied it to C, we would come up to this D point. Now I can show my D extension so that we can see A, B, C. D is our median line of our pitchfork, which isn't always the case, but in this particular situation, we're saying that if this was an A, B, C, D shark pattern, and I say shark pattern because C is below A, and some of you out there will say, well, C can't be below A, or that invalidates the ABCD. Well, if you're a geometric type player, there is a shark pattern where C does penetrate A by just a little bit, and then it's actually expected to be, this would be a bullish scenario to where price would continue to go up. But I'm not here to explain things like that. A, B, C, D. I also throw in a D to E, meaning that if we had an A, B, C area. And then we had a D completion. Now off of D, if it would happen to fail, since C to D is exactly A to B off of C, if that makes sense, then D to E is the same extension of B to C. So if I were to take, well, I'm going to have a problem with this, but if I were to take this, another thing I'm going to add to these sometime in the future, in all of these, is a turn all on and turn all off. And sometimes I get tired of, like what I just had to do since I had this set up so to show all of this. To get back just to a line, I had to come up and turn each one of these on and off individually. I'm going to add down here at the bottom, turn all on, turn all off. That'll turn them all on, and then I can come up and probably not do the perpendicular line there, but be a quick and easy way to turn things on and off and get back. Okay, as you can see, I was in draw mode there because my pencil's here. I right-clicked. All I'm going to do is select my line, and I'm going to bring my line back over, and you can see that the BC line is no more than the DE line. And likewise, if I were to come from the AB, is that exact extension off of CD. Now, I'm not here to explain methodologies, but ABCD is used extensively in technical analysis from a geometric standpoint, and I suggest you might study that a little. So we show ABC. You can show a CDDE extension. We can show the E extension off of the end if you want as well. And we can show, what I'll do is I'll take the CDE off and the E extension off. Can I do that? I can. Okay, A, B, C, our D was here. This is our 50% line of our D extension. A, B, C, 50% of D, D. For the pitchfork, I am not showing 50 and 100% forecast on either side. I just personally wouldn't use the forecast like that. This tool, this ABCD, is I use mainly from a rectangle or from a triangle standpoint. We'll get to that here in just a second. But I built it into the pitchfork as well, if you would elect to want to see that. So as all of you probably know, and if you don't know, you can middle click on your pitchfork, and this would be the same for the regression channel, for the trend channel, and a couple other things. But I could turn around and say I want to see my 25 in there, and I want to see my 75 in there, and I want to see a minus 25, and I want to see a plus 125. And let's show those to add some additional lines to our chart. So now that we're going A, B, C, we also show our midpoints to our median line. And then we show extensions on the outside. This isn't something that the drawbar is. This is just built-in characteristic of NinjaTrader. So I'm going to remove this for